Showcase season is back, but honestly, it feels Xbox, PlayStation and Summer Game Fest all have something to prove this year. This week we're making bold predictions for SGF, State of Play and the Xbox Showcase. We're trying to figure out who actually needs a win the most right now. We're also sharing our impressions of LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight and giving our very early thoughts on 007 First Light. This is the Pixel Parents Podcast. Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Pixel Parents Podcast, the show that discusses all things gaming from the perspective of parents. I'm your host, Liam Kirk-Kelvin. Today, of course, joined by the bearded one, Scott, the OG tastemaker Curry. How are we, Scott?
The less said, the better, Liam. Let's just ignore dying inside internally from this fucking stupid heat ball in the sky and just ignore it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe Montgomery Burns was right. Maybe that plan was correct, and that's what we should do. But apart from that, no, I'm pretty good, to be honest with you. It's been a pretty exciting week in Pixel Parents Towers. Mm-hmm. It's been a lot going on in terms of new releases, and us branching out a little bit further than we intended to, or would say we ever would do, and doing something a little bit different, which is cool. But I'm sure we'll talk about that soon. How are you?
I'm good, man. Too fucking warm. That's it. If you're in the UK at this time of year, it's hell. All that's missing is like Satan from South Park there, just dancing about, singing beautifully. That's the only thing that's missing right now, because I feel like I'm on the surface of hell. And I'm not enjoying it. I am sitting here willing autumn to happen, but I know we've just got to get through it. Bar that, though, as you mentioned, it's not all doom and gloom. That has been an absolute whirlwind of games, and we're just getting started as we're entering proper silly season, formerly E3 season. But it's exciting time, Scott. It's a good time to be a gamer. It's also a shite time to be a gamer, but we'll get into all of that as we go along. But I suppose right off the bat, Scott did mention that we did do something a little bit different this week. Scott, to tell our listeners what it is and where they can find that.
Indeed, yes. So we managed to put out a review for Mina the Hollower, which is available everywhere. YouTube, Patreon, you see clips of it everywhere, basically, that you want to go and find it. Just go and search for it, and you'll be able to see our take on Scott Curry's Game of the Year so far.
Yes, high praise indeed. And it's a very, very good in-depth review discussion, something new that we haven't done, but it was great to have the opportunity to do that. So shout out to Yacht Club Games, and please go over to YouTube, drop a wee subscribe while you're there, and all the usual stuff. But Scott, it's games of the year, all these big massive games. There's just so much, and also that not even mentioned this past week, chock full of games, and I'm excited to get into it. But before we do, let's get some housekeeping out the road and keep this train a-moving. For those old and new, this is the Pixel Parents Podcast, which is a weekly gaming show by parents discussing all things gaming whilst we're raising little ones. You can get new episodes every Friday on YouTube, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. As I mentioned, go subscribe to us on YouTube. Find us on Blue Sky at pixelparents.bsky.social, or email us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. If you can, please do go support the show for free at patreon.com/pixelparents. You'll get bonus stuff, all the rest of it. It'll cost you £0, which is a rarity in today's gaming landscape. If you can as well, drop a wee 5-star review, follow us on Spotify, share the podcast along with your friends, even go over on Reddit. We've got a new one, r/pixelparents. Whatever you do, it's helping us out massively. And of course, thank you to everybody that joins us each and every week. Now, as I mentioned, Scott, it has been a bloody fantastic week for new games. I'm going to kick things off here in Gotham City, because we've both been playing LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight with our player 2s nonetheless. And Scott, how have you been enjoying it so far?
I think I spoke to you very briefly about it when we finished the show last week, and it's good. I've been enjoying it myself, and I'll maybe get to that a little bit. I'll maybe get to that a little bit sooner, but it's just it's a nice breezy, fun time in the Arkham universe. It's obviously taken inspiration from every single Batman in known history. So, you're going to have Danny DeVito's Penguin in there. You're going to have, the Red Hood at a point. You might also have, Liam Neeson in there at some point as well.
Yep.
And it's hilarious. It takes these really funny moments, really serious moments, sorry, and makes them absolutely hilarious. Like, there's a bit that broke me about a few days ago when I was playing it, and it's one of the very early scenes where you're trying to infiltrate the Iceberg Lounge to find Carmine Falcone, and there's a DJ playing underground. There's a DJ playing underneath you, and he stops for a second to enjoy the same beat played on a loop all night, and it's just like, it's so stupid, but it's so true and hilarious. Like, in every single context of music and video game music, that loop is like nothing else, and it's so funny. Like, it's so aware of how stupid it is and how funny it is, and I think for me, I enjoy that about it. Like, I think that's hilarious. I am playing it with my daughter, and it's proven, maybe more challenging than I anticipated, and it's all due to the split screen co-op nature of it. See, if this game was just one screen where we could navigate it together, it would be fine.
Yeah.
But see, trying to get her to understand that she's on the right hand side of the screen, nightmare, Liam. Even if she knows what character that she is, she still thinks that she's Batman. It's like, I'm fucking Batman. I'm Batman. It's me. So trying to just navigate that with her. And it moves along at quite a pace where if you understand Batman and what it's going for, like, we'll get it because we've seen it all and we understand it all. They might as well be speaking Japanese for her. Like, I don't think she fully digests anything that's going on with it. And that's a little bit sort of disappointing in that way, but it's not really made for her. Like, I don't think these games have been made. It's obviously like a 7+, but I think that we all know that it's the adults that are playing this game. Like, there's nothing there, but it's class. Like, I've really been enjoying it. The Arkham style combat, from what you know from the Rocksteady games. Finally getting the glide ability after the longest tutorial in living history.
It was
it is needed, like direly needed at that point, but managing to sort of make your way through different parts of Gotham City as the glider, it's excellent, and I'm loving that, just kind of moving back to it. And you've even got all your Daffy Riddler stuff and all that as well to kind of keep yourself entertained. So it's doing a good job at keeping me sort of moving along and peppering in little missions here and there. And the missions are all good fun and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you, man. Like, first and foremost, like they've nailed the tone. It's family friendly fun. So I mean, anybody else listening to this with Little Player Tuesday, if you're thinking something to play together, it's definitely got that in spades. There was one reference in there. I won't spoil it, but that is so deep across the Batman, but also Batman adjacent spectrum in terms of the references that they're hitting out with. It's just you'll just have like get you in a really silly mood and you're laughing out loud through it. And it got me, like, one of them was absolutely fantastic and I was pissing myself, but it's because I totally didn't expect it. Hence why I am not going to touch on where or what it was. But you're right, it's like, let's face it, we saw the previews and we knew it was going to be like Lego Arkham, but it's like Lego Arkham with a bit of a dulled edge, so younger players can still enjoy it, like on the classic difficulty. I've not tried it in the Dark Knight difficulty, even though I've been so tempted to, but I thought, if I'm playing with my son, so I'm like, right, it just means that death is nothing in this, basically, and it's fairly straightforward, and he can hit out with like combos of like 20, 30, that's fine. I know he's doing his button mashing effectively, like a young kid could navigate their way through it, so to speak. But yeah, it can be a frustrating experience with younger players. We just want to put that on the radar. I mean, mileage may vary. You might have a kid that's the same age as ours that is probably a little bit better, but man, it's just reminded me how much I don't really enjoy split screen co-op that way.
Yeah.
I remember like playing Gears of War split screen co-op. That's probably the last one I can genuinely remember enjoying. But that decreased visibility is creating a bit of an issue for the younger player, and their ability to navigate that 3D space with the camera as well. And plus, as you'll remember, with the Arkham style combat, the camera naturally pulls upwards, so you can't really see really what's in front of you. And we're used to it because we've all put like thousands of hours into Arkham games at this point. But it can be a bit of a testing time for parents. And then when you've got like the game is like most Lego games, it's geared towards that co-op experience, right? And this is no different here. It's totally just wanting you to cooperate and, both use your unique abilities from each of the Lego characters. So, for instance, Jim Gordon, he has this like goop gun. Batman will have like his classic, hook and grapple. He'll have like his batarangs, that type of stuff. So you can't even just fire the way through it. You can take control, but the problem is once you give them a shot of Batman, they're not going to want to let go. And it's like, I just need to take him just to do this wee bit. So my strategy just now is play it in the stations with them, short bursts, and I'm trying to like blast through it so I can get to like Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, all that stuff, just to Bat family, because I'm going to assume that that's going to keep them, springing along a little bit. Even though he's enjoying playing Jim Gordon, but he doesn't know Scooby-Doo who he is, despite the fact he's seen him in Batman cartoons and stuff. But I do recommend it to any Batman fan. I've not finished it yet. I think it's like it's definitely a game of two halves. Like you could either let the wee one run rampant in the open world if they just want to run about and goof about in single player. There is a little bit of oddly Gotham Knights that's shining through in this. Particularly, you could grapple your way through the map. You don't even have to glide, right? Which is good because I think if you're a younger player, they'll definitely be able to navigate it. The amount of times in the open world, though, he's trying to follow me and he's just lost behind me because he's just other side of the city, and I'm just gliding there like an absolute boss. Like it's like, no, I'm straight there. But the good thing is you can just progress the story, which is good.
Yeah,
you
don't have to have them with you. Yeah. See, trying to explain that, like you hit L1 to grapple and tap X as you're doing that. I was almost done, Liam. I was like, I might just never play this game ever again. Yeah, it's just that. But I've been doing the same as you, just battering through it where I can, and eventually we'll get to a point where it's just going to be an open world where we can just navigate it and play it together, and that's cool. So
yeah, it's good. It's definitely delivering. I feel like if you're into the Arkham games or if you're a Batman fan, there's going to be so much here that's just going to make you just smile. But I think they get the character so well, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the other parts of the references as it goes on. But I should say, Scott, I've been distracted. Something has pulled me away because this week has been just juggernaut after juggernaut, and let's say it's this one's probably been one of the most anticipated games on my list this year, and that of course 007 First Light had arrived. It's, am I shaken or stirred by it, Scott? That is the question. But I consider me positively shaken by this game so far, which is good. All I can say is the wait appears so far to have been worth it. Have you got your hands in it yet, Scott? Have you played any of it yet?
I've not played it yet. My order for it was delayed today, so I was just like, well, that's fine. Like I'm not in any sort of dire need to play it, so I'm absolutely fine with it. But it is a game that I'm seeing nothing but good things about, unless you're reviewing it over a course of a weekend and then you maybe got a few more gripes to do with it. But it's definitely something that I've seen a lot about, and I'm excited to kind of get into it. Bond isn't usually my wheelhouse, but Uncharted style romps in video games over a weekend are. So I'm kind of looking forward to enjoy something that's maybe a bit sort of smaller scale, larger in performance, but it's not an open world because there's so many fucking open world games out there that it is nice to play something that's maybe a little bit more contained and hold back a little bit on that. I hope, but
I do think you're going to really enjoy this one, Scott, because I think everybody. What's going in its favour is it's reminded me that there's been a bit of a dearth of these type of experiences out there. Like the word you used there is contained, but it's not like a strictly on rails like early Uncharted type experience. It's probably more akin with an Uncharted 4, but It's also, if you take a bit of oddly Watch Dogs and Hitman, just chuckle that in there, and even to not gameplay wise, but in terms of how they understand the character, Indiana Jones comes to mind in terms of an understanding for the IP. That's basically it. And I said I have to be delicate with that one, but that's the only part of that recipe there is how impressed I am that IO Interactive, they clearly like live and breathe and bleed James Bond throughout this entire project. Like they get him, and that's just me. I'm probably about 5 to 6 hours in, and I am already so impressed. And it's everything we wanted from the trailers: bombastic, charming, engaging, and it's running very well on PS5 Pro. So it's not 007 frames as the joke was. It's very much like 60 frames a second, and it was slick as anything. Looks amazing. The thing that surprised me about it so far, and I'm dodging specifics because it's just out as well, but the story and that desire to keep going, to kind of keep turning the page, so to speak, has really surprised me. Just the connection that you've got with the cast, and in particular, it's Patrick Gibson that's playing Bond. And he is the star here without a shadow of a doubt, and thank God, because I was a bit unsure when they revealed him, because it's big shoes to fill. You know, you're stepping into James Bond, very likeable, more importantly, believable as James Bond. You know, he's not goofy, but he's quite restrained. He's very capable in his performance, and just ultimately very, very likeable. To the point, I think by the end of this game, if it keeps going on the trajectory it's on, I'd very much be like, do you know what? Just let him play Bond in the live action movies, because he's got something about him. He can clearly play this character. And I'm like, I hope that that's something that might enter the discussion, because what a cool way that would be to be like build Bond as this giant multimedia thing. Even though it's good that you can have two separate things, but then you might get into DC territory with like, well, Batman's not part of this universe and blah, 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 and it's Elseworlds, and it gets confusing. Now I think people are a wee bit exhausted on cinematic universes. But, you know, I digress. I think, come back to Bond, just the mix
we almost got you talking about Marvel there.
Nearly.
You're almost there.
Nearly. Coming soon, folks, to a patch notes or a Pixel Payments Presents. But yeah, the mix here, obviously, that stealth and action gameplay, everything you saw in State of Play, it's not straight up like you're just replaying that, because there's so many different avenues and there's so much different ways that you can achieve your objective. It is more Hitman-like than just Hitman in a Bond skin, if that makes sense.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second there then, because my biggest concern going into this, because I've not watched any gameplay for this apart from the states of play and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In motion, am I moving like Agent 47, or is it more fluid?
More fluid. Obviously, the Hitman DNA is obviously within this game, but it's not as stiff in that way. It's not as robotic. If there's a bit of a weight and a heft to your movements as James Bond. Don't get me wrong, you're still using like a similar control scheme, like to R3 to crouch, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But it all makes sense and it all blends together, and that's kind of where the Watch Dogs element comes in for me, particularly like with your Q Watch and the gadget stuff. There'll be more that they chuck in, but it's just a little reminder of it. But like I says, Hitman-like, not just a Hitman with a Bond skin applied, which, to be fair, they probably could have did that and called it a day. They've clearly not. They have really, really put a lot of effort in this. It's every bit as cinematic as you could expect from a Bond movie. And there's so many set pieces that I've already gone through, and I'm just like, wow, like I can't believe they've did that. But again, it's the characters. The way every part of this cast has a point to play in this. They're not just kind of mannequins, just hitting out with English charm. It's every part as good of an ensemble cast as you could kind of ask for, that you need in a Bond tale. So they've shown enough here to me that they get Bond, and it's something that I can't wait to get back to and finish. But I'll have more next week on that one,
Liam,
for sure.
As a music connoisseur such as yourself, how does the theme fare?
That is excellent. It's given that little bit of the signature Bond theme. They use it so subtly, but they don't overuse it. It's just always at the right moment it comes in, and it just gives you that little bit of swagger. And it just, they're using that motif very, very gently. So it's very much representing that this is an early Bond, but it's not just another Daniel Craig. It's not like a Pierce Brosnan. This is very much his own type of Bond, and very much for this generation. I would say, you're probably going to get the usual grifters coming out there about it because, Bond's gone woke because, Lenny James is in it and he's a black guy. It's like, well, tough shit. It's just like, M's a woman again. It's like, oh, Jesus, you've been a woman for donkeys. You know what I mean? It's all this type of stuff, but I think the game's
are people
praised.
concerned about M being a woman? Was that not Judi Dench?
No, it was Judi Dench, yeah, but it's in this case it's
I'll hear absolutely no slander.
Aye, exactly. I'm not hearing any slander because when you think of him, you think Judi Dench, but every person that plays a role in this has firmly earned the place as the character they're playing.
Good.
And obviously, if you put Lenny James in anything, man, it's just going to elevate it. But he is
inspired casting, to be honest with you.
It really is, by the way. It really is. And obviously, the main man himself is fantastic. Like every part of you, like you're not just kind of going through set piece to set piece. You're given a lot, and I use this term, no pun intended, a lot of agency to kind of navigate your way around. And that whole kind of gameplay setup of maybe like a little narrative beat, the kind of wider stealth, intelligence part of it, which is like this little closest part to Hitman sandbox that you're going to get, but it's not like overwhelming with all these little hints and potential opportunities. They do such a good job of funneling the player, but if you're one that just wants to kind of explore things and find collectibles and all that, you can do it, and the game's not penalising for you. So it's very good. Then you get to the action, but probably the worst part of it is definitely the driving, as we all expected, but it's not bad. It's just not great. But I could say the same about Uncharted. It's that type of thing that you're kind of expecting, but they've got it all here in spades, man. Like they've got something special on their hands. I would say, yeah, it's the perfect game that you can beat in a weekend. Like this game will be beaten in a matter of days. I think if you pick it up on the Friday, you play that a few evenings. For people like in our position who have jobs, who have partners, who have kids, all that type of stuff, anything all between, this is the perfect game for that. You know what I mean? It kind of, if there's a rental market, this would be such a good candidate for it. But there's clearly that little bit of, the collectible stuff just to try and go back and encourage replayability. But I think this is a type of experience where you're quite happy to put 12 to 15 hours in, call it a day, like you would with an Uncharted. And that probably gives me, back to the point that you made, like, I know there was some criticism from some circles about the review codes coming out late, but I'm also like that. Look, man, if I got that last Friday, I'd have that beating time for the embargo, and we've got 2 kids and all the rest to do with it, because the kids will eventually sleep in the evening, young or old. So
I hate to bring it up again, but I like to, and in these moments, I like to quote the words of Roy Keane. It's your job, Liam. That's it. That's all I want to say.
I'm also going to quote Roy Keane saying, not sure that was a clever move. But yeah, it's something that's just kind of coming up, and that's just, we noticed that that's the only real negative I've noticed since the embargo's lifted, which is actually all the more good for the game, because the quality's there and the reception has been fantastic to it. So if you've been interested, if you've been having a wee eye on it, that I will report back next week with more, but this is absolutely everything you're needing. If you want that cinematic, injection in your gaming, it's there. And I haven't played a game like this, as in like just locked in and just like, oh man, I don't want to go to bed. And you know me, I love my bed. I love sleep. So it's like, especially now, like we're all tired beasts at this point, but that's always a good sign to me. It's like, man, I could honestly stay up to about 2 or 3 in the morning just playing that, like old school.
That's class.
Which is good. So, and I do think you're going to enjoy a lot of it, because there's a good cocktail of stuff in there to enjoy. It's not just one note. So
a cocktail,
shaken or stirred. Yeah, that's 2 I've got in there. But alas, we'll come back with next week and the rest of it. But as we had mentioned at the top, obviously Mina the Holloway's out this week as well. Again, just go to YouTube and check out that review if you can. We're not going to just go into it here because it's a lengthy review discussion, but it's one that you're definitely going to want to hear and listen, particularly for this man, Mr. Scott Curry. and his well, you want to understand why he's saying it could be his game of the year.
Honestly, I am itching to go back and play Liam. I'm just trying to not do it because it's taken over my life. But
yeah,
it's that damn good.
Potentially, I think it might be the highest rated game of the year so far, if not one of, easily. So
fucking well should be. It's phenomenal.
Fantasy critics rejoice if you've got that in your pick. But yeah, we'll move on to the main topic. Before I do, if you do enjoy the show and you want to support us, you can. It won't cost you a penny. So go to patreon.com/pixelparents for our free Patreon community. Every show, chats and bonus shows, including Side Quests with Scott and more. It's free all the time. And if you can, go to YouTube, subscribe to us at youtube.com/@pixelparentspodcast. Now, Scott, making great time here, breezing through the show, should I say. Our main topic this week, our SGF Summer Game Fest predictions. Who needs a win? So, genuine question here is, of course, who actually needs a win from this showcase season the most? Is it Xbox, PlayStation, Summer Game Fest itself, Nintendo? We're going to get very carried away this week, as is tradition, and making our predictions on what to expect, but also just pulling that thread a little bit against the backdrop of what feels like a creaking game industry for all the wrong reasons, against all those wonderful people working in its will. Scott, overall, we want to talk about who does need that win. You know, who do we think actually is going into this Summer Game Fest reveal season probably thinking, John, we really want to have the biggest buzz, we want to make sure that it's a statement, etc. What's your overall thoughts on that heading in?
God.
I know what he's going to say, people.
How do you know that? I mean, it's a really tough question to answer. And the real answer is us. You know, we deserve that. We need the win because, by God, the industry is getting fucking more harrowing and more expensive than ever before. But if I'm putting on my critic hat, you know, if I'm really thinking about it in terms of who needs to get out there and show what they've got coming up more than anything else, it's probably not going to surprise the masses out there. But considering the change in leadership, considering the fact that they're talking about Project Helix more than ever before, considering the fact that, you know, we do have a slate of games coming up that we're maybe a little bit unsure about what's going to happen next, I do think it is Xbox. Like, I think this is the genesis of the Asha Sharma regime. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to be the first hurdle that she has to get over. And if she falls at this hurdle, then people are going to be start doubting her already. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, we're going to see a lot more from games like Halo, and potentially going to get a bit more information, or should be getting a bit more information about Fable, as well as, you know, the Gears of War E-Day, stuff like that as well. We're going to see more there, but those are three games that are known quantities. You know, we know about what they are. What's coming after that? You know what I mean? Like, what are everyone else doing? And you know, that's a difficult one there. I am going to continue on, Liam, though, because again, I was trying to think about this today. I was walking my dog in the heat, delirious, walking in that fucking sunlight,
barrage,
and I was thinking it was Xbox, and then I was like, well, PlayStation again. It's the same. It's always the same problem with them, is that we know of things, but we just don't know when. Like, we know Wolverine's coming up. That's fine, but what next? You know what I mean? Like, are we going to have any more? Are we going to have any more first party stuff this year? We've obviously going to have Marvel took on Fighting Souls this year, so are we going to get to see more characters from that? But is there anything more? Are we going to see anything bigger? Are we going to see smaller titles, third party titles that are going to join it? Who the fuck knows? Because they don't tell us anything. And if I finish on Summer Games Fest, this is probably the first Summer Games Fest in a very long time that I genuinely have no, what's the word? Like, no information on. Like, I have nothing. I have nothing. I was trying to think today, like, what are my predictions for this? It could be anything. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the industry is in such a strange place that are there going to be any big, massive announcements at Summer Games Fest? I don't know. Like, I can't. There will be, but, like, you know, what are they going to be? Like, they're all going to be quantities that it might be like the same as the last one, that everything's coming out the following year. Like we got shown on Onimusha Away the Sword, the last Summer Games Fest that came out this year. So it's like, that's cool, but we're still got to wait 6 months, 7 months, 8 months to even hear about what's going to happen next. So who the fuck knows?
Well, it's a good point, and I'm going to spring off that one before I get to who I thought needed the win most. But I think the reason is, we mentioned it's all about what's next, but I really think the biggest one for all of them, strategy-wise, would be to tell us what's now. And that big looming elephant in the room, which is Grand Theft Auto 6, blue balling the fucking whole industry here into like, do we, don't we? And, we need to know what's now, but we need gamers to kind of feel not even a reason to get excited. The thing that will excite gamers the most is not this kind of crushing feeling that this is a hobby that we're all going to get soon outpriced of. And, we saw, obviously, time of recording, that the Steam Deck had increased in prices. Obviously, Valve will do their own thing. The Steam Machine will come out. It's not looking good in terms of pricing for that. But also, just feels like every couple of weeks now, we're just getting these little price jumps. I mean, we said this at the start of the year with the big cost of gaming chat again. If you were thinking about it, now is probably the best time, because these things will go up. And all of them, the best strategy for them just now, if they're wanting to curry favour and get gamers excited, I think, is to lean into what's now and not what's next. I mean, this isn't the time over the next 18 to 24 months to even remotely entertain the next generation of stuff. And I'm looking at you, Xbox, but we'll come back to that later. For me, though, I think in terms of who needs the big one, I had the thought, and I nearly did the same. I was like, Xbox and that, but I totally agree with you. I think all of them have their own, stake in the game here, in terms of they want to walk away from this feeling like they've won it, even though they've not won anything. But that's how we all think, is a wee bit of fun punditry. For me, I actually think it's SGF. They need to have a big year, to make people care and get excited for it as a proper successor to E3. We call it, most of us call it Key 3 as a joke, and for sure there have been some big moments of the year, but I stopped and thought about it. It still feels like the wrapping around your gift, and the big three there still having and keeping their own big stuff for their own showcase. It feels a wee bit emblematic of the problem, which is if I try to recreate the summer E3 pop, SGF is trying to house something which really doesn't technically have any physical need to be housed anymore. And it kind of feels like almost like every year that goes by, even despite the one or two big pops, it's almost like a battle to justify its own existence a little more than the others. And you could easily take like the top 5% of the announcements from these shows, right, and put them in any one of the others instead of the other way about. And my top prediction, I suppose, for SGF this year, it can go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Spoiler. In fact, no spoiler, but my top prediction for SGF, which we'll get to later, that can go in any one of these other showcases, right? Bar that, I don't know, and it's not like people are going to be like, man, these guys just hate Geoff Keighley. It's not. It's more just the fact that if you're going to do it, I feel like the industry still is lacking that E3 physical presence pop. The fact that we're still there, sticking to the same time zone, sticking to the same kind of status quo for the gaming industry perspective, all of us fucking red-eyed watching these things, only to be given, 90 minutes to sometimes 2 hours worth of absolute filler to sit there and get something like a high guard at the end when you're looking at the Game Awards and you're looking at other stuff going by. It's like, and more often than not, you kind of walk away with that feeling of, it was okay. There's one or two things in there, but there is a lot of shite in these shows. There is a lot of shite in these shows, and they have to do that because they have to try and justify the experience. And their objective is to be big, 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 to try and make that statement that this is the big tent. And the whole, branding exercise of PlayStation announces something, so yeah, it's part of Summer Game Fest. Like, it's not really. They're just being kind enough to say, yeah, you can put that on your website and we can get, backlinks towards that. That's really what they're looking for at the end of the day, because it's all marketing speak. But for me, I feel like SGF, more than ever, they need to, me individually, they need to make me really care and get excited about it, because I was sitting here, same as you, melting in the sun. I'm thinking, do you know what? I could really be. You know, I don't really think we need this. Like just take the cream off the top and put it in the Xbox One or the PlayStation One because it's going there anyway.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's stopping that happening, I'm afraid to say, is Geoff Keighley himself because he knows the right people in there and he's built all that up and fair fucks to him. But I do think that
Sounded like me there.
I know it's a listen, fair play. We always respect the hustle. We always respect the game, and what he's built is nothing short of mega impressive. Off his own back and his own connections there, and that's what you've got to do to play the game. But we don't need it. That's the thing. Like it feels very tertiary
like
to the whole thing.
It feels like that more than ever before,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it's always this way every single time Summer Games Fest comes around. But it's the proximity between like the state of play, the Xbox Game Showcase, and Summer Games Fest that they're all within like a matter of days with each other. It's like because they're so close together, it's almost like, well, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, what more can you show? It's just
and that's it. And it does feel like increasingly that PlayStation and Xbox are very much, they would be like, we'd rather just build our own channels, build our own YouTube, build our own hype, which we don't really need your help with because we've got thousands and millions of followers. And SGF, of course, has a lot of eye on it, but I think if you were to say to more casual gamers, it's like, oh, there's a PlayStation showcase, there's an Xbox showcase, cool. The Summer Game Fest, what's that? It's that's the hump they have to get over. Don't get me wrong, always does the record numbers, and you get the metrics, you get the vanity metrics every year, which for me is a bit like me walking into a boardroom and talking to directors about the amount of page views a website got. It's like they don't care. It doesn't really fucking turn the needle at the end of the day, or turn the screw. But I think I don't know, he just has to find a way to kind of almost, like I said, justify his own existence a little bit now, because it does feel like you could take a lot of it away.
Yeah.
And it's not needed. And that's not me just trying to get rid of it. It's almost me encouraging him. It's like, because we know he has the connections, he has the hookups, he's got the numbers and all the rest there to make a big splash. And I know he's absolutely banging his head up off a brick wall somewhere. There must be so many announcements that it was like, we'll put it on your show, then at the last minute, I bet they've been pulled. Whatever it is, pure speculation. Can't prove that, but he's trying behind the scenes. And I would love that for him. I really would, because it's like, yes, that big sense of accomplishment. And I think the closest it got was actually last year's one, I'd have to say. But since then, it's very much been like, has it peaked? And that's the question that I've got going into it this year. Hope I'm wrong, and our predictions for that when we get to it is probably going to spell out, if it all ticks off, then I will gladly eat some crow. But we're going to go in order here, Scott. So up first in terms of our predictions slate here is none other than PlayStation State of Play. I'm keeping this to UK time for all the people who are not on the west coast of America, because there's a bigger world out there and we're all tired. If you want to watch that, it's on Tuesday the 3rd of June at 10 p.m. UK time. Good news is everybody's asleep. Bad news is it's going to be a late old night, because they say it's going to be 60 minutes, which we know that usually runs over a little. So expect us to be kind of finished after 11 on that, Scott. Scott, I've actually got a fair list here of, some predictions here. I'll check out the first one because we'll need to talk about it, and I think it's the big one, the low hanging fruit. And we know Wolverine's going to be there, but Intergalactic, Scott, I think we're going to get the second trailer. I'm going to say here it's going to have a year release. I'm going to say 2027, but it's 100% getting delayed to 2028. A future prediction. Do you think we're going to see that here?
No.
Oh, I like it.
Do not. Like it. I think that if we were going to see something about it, we would have heard something about it. I think that I've been very coy and keeping it so the cards close to the chest on this, because I don't think we're anywhere near where it should be.
Yeah.
And I think that, coming up on Wolverine, I know it's not coming out, but you don't want to take away all the fucking wins from the sales that Wolverine has. So I don't know whether or not you drop it in there. I do think they have to. Like this, I don't think they will, but I do think they have to show something about it, because after the whole dropping of the Last of Us multiplayer stuff and all that pish, like can Neil Druckmann still make video games and not fucking terrible TV shows? You know, I'm only kidding, and I love The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Don't come for me, internet, not on this one. But can he still do it? You know, that's the big question here. Everything points to aye. Like it looks like it's got the vibes and it's got that fucking energy that you really want from a game like that. But that's from a 20-second fucking a 20-second fucking proper view of it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think we'll see gameplay this year of it.
No.
Like, I don't think we'll see anything. We might see another. If anything, you might get another CG trailer of
that's what
more
expect.
shit pish and something like that. But I genuinely don't see anything more than that. To be honest with you,
I'd take anything. I'd just take even just Trent Reznor. Just show me letting us hear more of that soundtrack. That's all. I'd be happy with that. I'd be up the road. Like, brilliant, 10 out of 10. Wait bed. You know.
I mean, I just don't see it. I think that if you were going to have it there, you would tell people that it was there. Like, if you want people to view it, you would say, like, a first look, the next look at Intergalactic from Neil Druckmann on the sort of thingy for it. You know, I know they don't always do that, but you would have something just to fucking allude to it. But I think, again, I think they have to, but I don't think they will.
Okay. That's it's a very, very sensible way to look at it, I would say, and I don't think you're wrong. I'm going for the big hype here, and on that note, Scott, right, the other big hype, I might get your feel on this, but I think it might be the time just to give the announcement. Now, that this is the thing, an announcement trailer is usually just your CGI, the title of the game, and a little glimpse. But I think now is the time for them to show their hand with the next Cory Barlog title, which is this rumoured God of War Fae game that he's been doing. Do we see that here?
Yes. I think that this is the time and the place for it, and I think it soothes the anger that people had over the last State of Play talking about the God of War trilogy remake. I think that having this in place would sort of settle some of that. You know, people who are of sound mind would be excited for it. People who are not will be shitting their bed because they're absolute fucking losers. I'm not going to tell you why they're going to say that. You just have to trust me. If you don't know anything about the leaks, you just have to trust me. But you know, is God of War woke now? Let's find out.
God of Woke. That's what they'll
God
call
of Woke. Aye, that's it. Yeah.
Jesus, touch grass, man. Honestly.
It's just ridiculous, but I do think we do see something here about it, and I'm excited for that because we all remember God of War 2018 when that was first shown, and you know, us all getting excited about that, and this is something different. But
it's 10 years ago. 10 years ago, Scott.
Exactly. So I do think that, you know, the time has been and gone for them to show this game, and now is the time that they have to fucking put it out there and show us what's happening with the man.
Nice. And any other big predictions you've got? I've got a big list here, but I mean, I can happily quick fire round them anytime you want, but I'll linger on some.
To be honest with you, I mean, if there was this is between Summer Games Fest and PlayStation for me. This is just pipe dream.
Go for it.
The hopes and dreams of the world resting on my shoulders right now. We don't get the name for it yet, but we see glimpses of the third installment of the Final Fantasy VII remake trilogy. We don't get to see the name yet. It's still left ambiguous in the way that the end of the story was. But we see
just something. Like the Final Fantasy, just a logo without the actual title.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's like blurred out. You know what I mean? Like, you can maybe see the first letter because we all know what the first letter is, but they just play on that for a little bit longer and just stoke that flame a wee bit more.
Yeah, it does feel like this is going to, at the end of that week, we're going to see it. I think we'll see it somewhere else, and we'll probably do that later. But I think it would fit perfectly in here. The reason I've not said State of Play is because I think they want to really convey the message that it's not PlayStation exclusive anymore, because I don't think that's shaking down the trees yet. So we shall see, but it very well could appear here because PlayStation love a marketing deal. I've got a few others like here. I think there's a good chance we see a Ghost of Yoti expansion announced, kind of like Iki Island.
Did they not say they were not doing anything for it?
But they always say that, Scott. I'm dreaming big here. I'm dreaming
sorry,
big.
I'm just trying to
I have
be realistic.
I've got like daft ones down here, Scott, right? I've approached this a different way. Like, Team Asobi. What if they do something, a new Astrobot project? Could be anything. Could be Astrobot 2.
It's funny you should say that, because I thought, what about an Astrobot driving game with all
like
the wee kart racer? To take advantage of the fact that Mario Kart was pish, and to bring all the characters of PlayStation lore into a kart racer.
It's there. I mean, what a perfect project. Do they do that and then run the risk of, like most companies and PlayStation studios, make one bad move and get layoff daft? We'll see. But I think there's a good chance Team Asobi do something here. There's a very good chance. I think there's some stuff in there for Scott Curry. I think you'll get more Phantom Blade Zero. I think that's a lock. Just
indeed.
A reminder that the game exists. It feels like they've not pushed that too hard yet. You're obviously Break-In, which is this rebrand of Fair Games, Dead and Arrival, but that's going to get in there as well.
Kena tagline, Dead and Arrival.
And let's face it, there's some games you see, and I hate to say it, and I wish all the people working on it the very best, but I just think that there's some things in here that's kind of, I don't know, from a bygone era. It feels like a PlayStation, and it just feels like it's going to be Dead and Arrival. But as I mentioned, Kena, Scars of Cosmora, you might get a release date here. I mean, that's something they don't really have to rush, but they could, because I feel like this state of play is going to be a big deal. So this is why I'm going, like, they're just going to stuff stuff in there. I do have one in here, Scott, that you should enjoy. From a recent experience you've had, and I think Sony Bend will be here announcing and revealing, teasing a latest project, just to show, hi guys, we're still alive. And my bet is that it's going to be something that we're going to be like, huh? That's my gut feeling. I don't know what it is.
Days Gone 2. I'd be for it, Liam. I'd be fucking for it. It was phenomenal. It's so good.
Yeah. I think, like, we've converted him, guys. He's a Days Gone believer. But I just feel like there's a good chance that that's there, because I feel like this state of play is their last big hand of the PS5 generation.
Yeah.
With this showcase here, I just have that feeling in my gut. No, they're not going to have big announcements. I feel like this is them going, do you know what? We're in the final, like, kind of tranche of our big investment into PlayStation 5 before we go into PS6, because let's face it, they're sitting there in the background thinking we're going to drop that $1,000 console on you bad boys, you mugs, anytime soon. I hate it.
You mugs.
You mugs. But there's one here, Scott, right? It's a big one, right? It's a big one. I think, and it's a two-legger, I think Grand Theft Auto 6 is here with a trailer that comes out beforehand, and I think it's a repeat of the trailer that lands before this goes live, and I think it's PlayStation's way of tying in the whole marketing deal that they have. Take-Two have come out and they've said it's starting in the summer.
Yeah,
I think that this isn't the reveal of it on State of Play, because Rockstar don't need them, but I think they just replay whatever trailer we see in that week.
But imagine they did, Liam. Like, imagine they were just like, take it and do it, man. Fucking go for it. It'd be class. It'd be like, people would be fucking, it'd be like the Beatles coming out.
It really would be. Like, if you're big PlayStation, you're giving them all the money, but I don't think they could afford it. That's the problem, because they're like, that money. What is this? They're sitting there like Rick Ross. They're like, I've got the money in the world. I don't need this. But it's just like, I think that's my strange call for this. I do think Grand Theft Auto 6 makes a splash next week, and I don't think it's a Summer Game Fest. I've put that as a prediction. That's a spoiler for later. I don't think GTA 6 is there, but I do think that GTA 6 is on this State of Play as a repeat of what we've already saw. Because I wouldn't be surprised. Now, this is pure hopes and dreams. I base this on nothing, right? So do not take this to the bank. But I just have a funny feeling that next week Rockstar will just whack it out on the table, boofed, on the Monday, there's GTA 6, and we're dominating this bitch. The rest of you can all go and do your stuff, because they could also do it after it. But I think, if you're Geoff Keighley and you're wanting to dominate the weekend buzz on Summer Game Fest and Xbox, they're probably thinking, do you know what, the best tip? Just drop it on a Monday, lads. Just let's do it up the road. You know what I mean? Like, they're probably thinking that then State of Play can just, relay that effectively. And I don't think you see anything new, but I think almost like GTA 6 is there somehow. I don't know. I base that on nothing, but I have faith because it's summer now and they have to start this marketing cycle at any point.
At some point, don't they? They've not got much time to. I mean, you don't need much time to market it, but
if they don't, then it's not going to start until July, which is usually, it gives you a good 3-4 months until that. It's the game that doesn't need marketed, but
doesn't need it.
There you go. But there's some shite announcements here.
Well, before you go to your shite ones, can I interject?
Please.
Because I'm starting to think that you're booking the State of Play here. King
Triple H.
So yeah, I totally agree with you on most, if not all, of the choices that you've come up with there. I do think that this is maybe the time where we see a bit more from what do you call them? What's the name of the fucking thing? Hogwarts Legacy 2. I do believe that we maybe see
good shout.
a little bit more from that. I'm trying to remember the name of the studio, but it's something I can't remember what it is.
Portkey Games.
Portkey Games. I couldn't remember what that was.
Plot that.
Potentially something from Kingdom Hearts 4.
Ooh.
Don't think it'll ever happen, but that might be a Summer Games Fest thing. But I think if you're not going to get Final Fantasy VII Remake, maybe Kingdom Hearts 4 is the appetizer that you get just instead. Your meal's gone wrong, but they give you something else just in case, just to tide you over.
We're so sorry.
We're so sorry, but here you go. There was obviously some leaks in the last week or so about Media Molecule having a little bit more on the table there. Dreams didn't pan out the way that we all thought, but they seem to be working on some sort of platformer, I think they're saying. So that would be pretty cool. I would, if we're putting on the hat,
yeah, get it on
the dream hat. I want Dino Crisis Remake. Give it to me now. I want to be playing I want to know more from Marvel Talk on Fighting Souls. I want to see who the next characters are. Give me the whole roster now. Show me the fucking big bad. Give me a big bad trailer to show me what's happening in the story mode.
I think that's a lock, man.
Bring him out. Give us it all. I do think a bit above a boring one. We're always going to see what's happening with Marathon now that Destiny 2 is dead. Marathon will have a season 2 thing probably.
Yeah,
we'll all turn it off like
cup of tea.
Aye, cup of tea time, pish break. And to be honest with you, there's two that I hope for.
Let's have it.
I want to see what's going on with this Persona 4 remake. It's either that or I want a brand new Persona game, Liam. I want to see Persona 6, the beginnings of that. Or we see Metaphor ReFantasio Royale. You know what I mean? Like we get to see that actually fully voice acted rather than fucking reading it. And my dream, Liam, the dream that I want more than anything else, is just some fucking good games coming to PlayStation Classics. I want to see good PS Plus titles for PlayStation. I want finally to be able to play Parasite Eve on the PlayStation. I would love, Liam, I was thinking about it recently. I want to play the bouncer on PlayStation 2 on my PlayStation.
Never know.
I want it, Liam. I'm probably the only person in the world that wants that game to come out again because I'd love it. But those are my stupid ones. I don't think there's anything else that I legitimately do think could potentially come out. I'm past the point with Bloodborne. Like, fuck that. It's never going to happen.
You might get a tease of the film, maybe.
Potentially. I think it might be a bit too early, but I think that if I'm being truthfully honest, I think that for an hour, you're going to get a lot of fucking third party stuff. You're going to get Wolverine at some point in there, and there's going to be one big, massive fucking thing in the end.
Yeah, no, it probably will be that Cory Barlog one. I mean,
Gran Turismo or some shit like that.
Oh God, I can't be asked for Gran
Turismo.
Or
that fucking stupid game being made by, what do you call him? That fucking wank that made Star Trek. What's his name? J.J. Abrams.
Oh yeah,
that fucking stupid 4-loop bollocks that's been made.
I'm not interested. Stop pushing it on us. I've got like my boring one for it, because I do like to have a boring one. I think you're going to get, for both Marvel Tokon and Wolverine, special editions worth over £150. That's my big one. Your big old
You'll buy them
statue.
both. You'll buy
Mate,
them both.
I will.
If
I'll be
Doom is
needing an
in there, you'll be
intervention.
fucking. You will
Mate,
buy both of them.
if Doom's in there, it's bought. I'm a weak man. Weak man. I think there's potential there, and this is dream hat on, tinfoil hat, but I don't think it will happen. But I would love it if there was a new Spider-Man project, not 3, but potentially like a Miles like spin-off. I know there was all that stuff about Venom getting cancelled, but who knows? Might be resurrected, or might be something else.
Spider-Gwen, Liam.
Spider-Gwen, I would take that and run to the bank. I think there'll be a big pop at State of Play for yourself. Obviously, I'm excited as well, but we both know you're the Onimusha fan here. I think the way the Sword release date is at State of Play. I think we
it's
get a wee trailer. Good shout. I mean, listen, it's definitely happening that week, but I'll put my chips on that. This is the big one for me, and I think State of Play. In fact, no, come to think about it, it's on Xbox. Keep that for later. keep that tidy. But for Joe, it leads me into Summer Game Fest, right?
Well, let me sneak one in. Let me sneak one under the table for you. A wee bit more footage from Metal Gear Solid 4 and Peace Walker.
Oh yeah,
there you go. Slide it in.
Snuck in. Yeah, they like that. Yeah, snuck in. Solid Snake. There's a wee pun there. Stealth. But it leads me to Summer Game Fest. I think that this game I was about to mention, right, is going to be here at Summer Game Fest, but it'll be back to front. So it could be either or. But fuck it, I think you're going to get the actor that plays the main character on stage at Summer Game Fest. So I'm just going to go here. And I think that'll be the Star Wars Jedi sequel to Jedi Survivor. I think it's going to be called Star Wars Jedi Knight. No, that's just going to be my pick here the now. And I think Cameron Monaghan's going to be on stage to talk about something on there about it. The big one for me, I think Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 is here. At SGF, I think somehow he's nabbed it. And he's probably going to make the case, do you know what? You don't want this. You don't want to be aligned to any one console. You've seen the problem, so why don't you come here? This wee house that we've built. And I think that's going to be his big pop this year. That's probably my biggest one. There's another couple of ones in there as well. There's one that I would personally love for him to drop, but I think Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 is going to be the big one, because I think they're going to try and pull away from the PlayStation tie. To be honest, that's my only reason why. I do think if it turns out another big reveal, I think the Iron Man, the EA Motive game, is going to get the big reveal here. That actually, other than the screenshot that we got, or the announcement shot, and I base that just off, I've seen a little bit of movement on Blue Sky just around that of late, and I'm thinking, maybe they get some up their sleeve. Who knows? We'll see. But that's a long way off, that game, so we'll see. I've not put anything in there about Marvel 1943 because that game don't exist. It's absolute vaporware.
Is that an Amy Hennig game?
Potentially. I mean, loves half doing a game. But yeah, so SGF, I don't have as many ones here. Would it be easier just to kind of quickly rhyme them off here before we get into the Xbox and kind of do the same? Conscious of time as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
SGF, what's your big one? What are you thinking? What's going to be the big thing? What's Geoff going to whack it out? You know what I mean? What's he going to do?
The difficulty is we don't know. We can't predict the unknown, right? There's reasons why we're predicting some of these games. All of my stuff right now is just stuff that I know exists. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing on there that's going to shake the ground. Like, I do think we'll get a Control Resonant trailer here more than anywhere else. I think we'll see more from like the next game in the Plague Tale series here. Probably get a trailer from Silent Hill here as well, to be honest with you, the Townfall one.
You got a date?
I should do. Konami are pretty good with that. From the other developer folk who were at The Witcher, that Blood of the Dawn Walker and things as well, I think that there'll probably be a bit more information about that. And I know that I can't even remember where this was, but the trailers for Tomb Raider that were released. Maybe a bit more about that, to be honest with you. Maybe bring out fucking, what'd you call her for Game of Thrones? Sophie Turner. Bring her out because she's playing Lara Croft in the movie or a TV show or whatever bollocks that is, and you parade her around in aye, she can introduce a trailer or some shit, say that she plays Tekken or something like that, and everyone will be happy about it.
One of us.
And in fact, they've already announced, or there was a leak about a new Rayman as well, the Rayman Legends.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Because
I think there's like a
Ubisoft aren't doing
collection of
anything,
those.
so that's
Maybe a bit
probably a
more
good
from
fit.
it. Aye, Assassin's Creed or some shite here.
How
Who
dare?
knows?
There, the main event. You mentioned those got one game, and I think that will be here, which is The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, and that Songs of the Past expansion that was announced this week. I think that'd be a good opportunity to maybe give your first little tone setter, in terms of like just something that's like, even if they were to announce something else, like more info later, feels like it would be a good moment. It doesn't feel like a coincidence that it got dropped, the announcement, but if you're outside of this, more hardcore gaming bubble on Blue Sky and X and all the rest of that, then I don't really know you'd be much aware. So it might be a good chance for it to kind of get it out there, because did he not have Witcher 4 as well last year?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it might not be last year, it could be year before. Time is a quantity I do not measure myself in anymore. But I think you're right with the Tomb Raider stuff. I absolutely agree that it's going to be there. Let's say GTA 6 not there. Potentially Resident Evil 9 DLC feels a bit early, but the game of the show for me could potentially be there, Scott. And I say this every year, but I think we're going to get it, and that's Jurassic World Survival. I think we're going to get it with a date, even just a year. Anything, just give me it. I just want to be in Isla Nubla and, try to survive against these big ass dinosaurs right after the events of Jurassic Park. But I think we need to see it here, otherwise I'm going to get worried that game's getting cancelled. I must believe. But yeah, I think outside of that, Control Resident could easily be the big pop. I'm with you. I think it's going to be here for sure. But bar that, if he walked away with just Final Fantasy VII Remake, like any one of these games we mentioned at the top, that Control Resident, Iron Man, whatever, even if he got Star Wars Jedi 3, right? I think he'd be like, that's good. That's a big pop. The rest of it, though, that we mentioned there, could go on PlayStation or Xbox. That's the thing, and we hate to admit it. So there's nothing there that I feel like, that's definitely an SGF. I think it's probably the biggest one for me is Final Fantasy VII Remake, because I don't think Xbox are going to shell out the cash, because I think they're very much going to be like, we don't want to tie ourselves to one console, or at least to have that perception. It's all about that perception at the end of the day, as much as PlayStation and Xbox would love that. But I digress. But I mentioned Xbox there, Scott. So the one that you said needs the biggest win.
Sorry, I had a couple more just
go.
off the top of my head.
Xbox,
so for Summer Games Fest, very briefly, I do think that we'll see what's up next for NetherRealm.
Oh,
maybe an update on, if it's going to be a new Mortal Kombat or Injustice 3. What is going to happen with, you might even get like character reveals for the next season of Street Fighter, because you sometimes get those kind of things here as well. We'll probably see a ton of indie games that we don't know anything about, weird fucking top-down shooters and shit like that. And I think ultimately we'll be unimpressed by the offerings of Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, I hope not. I hate that feeling of I've wasted my time. But it's a Friday night, isn't it? So that's good. I was pleased looking at that. I should have had that. It's Friday, 5th of June, 10 p.m. UK time. So it's a good time for us for once. Usually we get like a Thursday night at 2 a.m. pish, and it's like, oh, cheers. I hate watching stuff about the community I'm most engaged in. I hate that, Geoff. But might have heard our cries. He's never off the phone with us, guys. So, he's definitely taking the feedback. But I'm going to move on to Xbox Game Showcase, which is the Sunday, June 7th, as always, at 6 p.m. UK time. So, right in the middle of, getting the sprogs to calm down. If this is the one day a year that I would do it, I'm just going to watch this. Like, to watch as it happens, just so my phone doesn't get, tweets and all that popping up, just kind of like, here's what's happening. I like to see it as it occurs. So 6 p.m, we're getting that followed up by the Gears E-Day showcase. It'll be about 7:30. This thing's going to wrap up, I'd imagine, latest. We know that Gears E-Day is going to be there, right? And we know that they're going to be talking, the Fable will be there. We know Halo campaign evolved. It's a big year for Xbox, so we can probably just push them to one side. However, I've thought I'll just go one step further. I think Gears E-Day, going to go with October. Fable, I'm saying is delayed to 2027 into February. And Halo, I'm going to say that's going to come in September. That's my kind of prediction for the easy ones, Scott. Just sticking to the easy ones, what do you think?
I think that Gears for around that time of year is pretty much a lock. Halo, I mean, they could drop any time. We've all played fucking Halo 1 anyway, so who cares? And Fable, yeah, 1,000,000,000%. I think that the fact that they've been so quiet doesn't bode well. It's whether or not they can afford to do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Whether or not Asher Sharma has the minerals to be like, okay, take your time, let them cook, and that's fine. Like, I don't know, because
I think she
Fable has
does.
been. I think she does as well. I really do. Like, I'm not criticizing her because I've
No,
literally
not at all,
never
not at all.
heard her speak. But it's a big decision, a big call that you have to make on probably the biggest game for Xbox this year. Like,
Yeah, 100%.
Forza Horizon is a known quantity. We know what you're getting with that. Cars are cars. John Halo is still going to be the exact same way and play the exact same way as he did before. Gears of War, yeah, telling a story within the Gears of War franchise that we all want to see. Cool. But this is something that we've been waiting for. Well, you have been waiting for forever. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just delay it. I would even be happy if they came out and said, look, we're going to show you a bit more from Halo, but we're telling you now it's delayed until 2027, but they come on this Xbox Game Showcase and look, as a show of good faith, here's a little bit more about what you can expect from the game. That's fine. I think that would do better instead of them saying, yeah, we're letting, like, if you come on the actual showcase themselves and say they're going to delay it, I think that would annoy people more. I think come out with a press release sooner than that, drop that first, and then just say, look, find out a bit more about what's happening in Playground Games after.
Yeah, I think you're bang on. I think it would be a real. You're talking about a statement, but I think sometimes it's a real, it's a real message of there's solid leadership there to kind of back your teams, and if they're confidently coming out saying, do you know what, we need a bit more time. They've got the backing. It's just, it feels like ever since they said 2026 without a date, that immediately just sets the wobblers off. You're like, and it's just because of this year with GTA 6. It's like, is there any point in what feels like Xbox's best chance at a proper game of the year contender? No slight against Forza Horizon 6, an incredibly fun game, at least from my perspective, and it has all the quality markings you'd expect, but it ain't going to take home that prize at the end of the year. You know what I mean? It's just not, because that's just the world that we live in. But with Fable, I think they've definitely got something there that's like, for the first time, it's like, this is something that's special that you're going to really want to, like, it has a bit more of a mass market appeal. That's probably what I'm saying. And they're probably like, do you know what? Is it better that we just drop it next spring? February, perfect time of year, own the conversation, and probably in the lead up to what I would feel is the Project Helix convincing run of like, hey guys, you need to spend £1,200 on this machine that does absolutely nothing of any note that's any different on what your current console can do. But by the way, we've got this really good game, and this is why you should be putting faith in Xbox and why you should invest in that. And that's kind of like the ace in the hole. Now, as any of these next gen consoles, and I'm moving on to Project Helix, isn't going to move the needle here because of the price. We're all going to absolutely hit the dry bulk seeing it. But it's, it could almost pay for like a month of energy costs in the UK. That's how expensive it's going to be. But do you think, like, it feels like they are going to show their hand here? And is it right to do so? My thoughts is obvious, no. But I feel like they are going to show their hand. I don't think it's right that they do it, though.
The pass. I don't know. I don't know if they do show it. I don't think they show it at a showcase. I think that they wait and do something more bespoke for it. You know what I mean?
I'm going to take you.
Then again, they've done it before. You know what I mean? Like, they've shown all this bullshit off before. I just think it's mad in the current market after the Steam Deck news recently today. I think that if you're trying to build confidence in the brand and you're trying to build goodwill within the fans, I don't think that's the way you go about it. You know what I mean? I've said it before. I'm hypercritical of Xbox because they make fucking stupid decisions and the internet comes after me for it. But I'm fucking right? And I think it would just be stupid. It would be so like it would be so unaware of the current state of everything that to be like, look, we're dropping the price of Game Pass for you, right? Okay, but here's this massive brand new fucking console that you can buy in 2 years' time, where you're literally going to have to fucking sell organs to buy it. Like, there's no way that's not coming out for more than £1,000, like less than £1,000. It's not happening. And they might not announce the price there and then, but we all know, Liam, we all know exactly what that's going to cost. The minute we look at it, we'll all know. I just think it's so stupid to do it. I think it would be wrong, but
it depends.
They'll prove me wrong.
There's a lot of different and I think that's an absolutely solid argument for not doing it. I definitely do. I think if we're going to put on the corporate overlord hat, it does depend. I'm going to bore you for a minute, right? So just bear with me, guys. But it does depend who they've got in there, because I think they could. This is all going to come down to marketing at the end of the day. I think Asha Sharma's walked in there, and it's very clear, at least I'm thinking it's very clear to me, that she's looked at the Xbox problem as first and foremost a branding exercise and problem. So they're on this hearts and minds crusade. So if you're in that crusade, you're right. Dropping a new shiny thing that you know gamers are going to be excited about, oh, that's cool. Then you've got a full year until next year of the pricing review. And they do this all the time. Xbox's cadence with it is they always drop it in the summer showcase. And it's always like, oh, it's some still water and rocks from Iceland. And then all of a sudden the water rises up and it forms a console, right? It's the same pish every time. And they'll have Master Chief jump off a cliff and that's it. You know, some American football player in a car, and then it's just this console in the middle. And it could just be Project Helix, or it could be the Xbox 2, whatever it is, right? Who cares? Whatever they fucking call it, it's going to be too expensive, and it's going to be an absolute monolith to everything that's wrong in the world just now, in terms of pricing. So if you're on a hearts and minds crusade, do they want that? You know, niggling away, and then you have all the leak weasels as well that's around there, and that's the name that I'm officially giving them. You know, you're going to have people going, this is going to cost this is going to cost that, and what you're doing is you're breeding more uncertainty in a fan base that's the trust has never been more eroded in that brand, particularly I talk about for the diehards. You know what I mean? The absolute diehards out there that are just, there's that feeling of defeat among them. Like, I just don't think there's going to be an Xbox. They're going to go third party, etc. Even they might be like, I don't really want to go PC as well. There's that part of it, because you're trying to pull them on that journey as well. But if they do that, that's a big risk, and it's not just from the announcement next week. It's also the all the long tail of that afterwards. You know, you're getting the hates, the Jeff Grubbs, the Jason Schreiers, the trusted, reliable sources out there that do know stuff. All they have to do is just put something out there, and it's like, yeah, this thing's costing $1,200-$1,300, which means for some reason it's more expensive over here, even though it's not how the monetary exchange works. But you know, we'll definitely get shafted. That's what always happens. But and it's pish. The right thing for them to do, and this is the key part of the question, you know, do they show their hand and is it right? I don't think it's right, but I think the right thing for them to do is to just hold their water. And I think if they're in the boardroom and they're looking at their ideal customer profile and they're thinking, right, we are wanting to launch this product, but it's too high a price point, and we're seeing the data come in, and we've seen that obviously we've got this big orange rapist jester in charge that's making the price of everything go up, and not to mention their own bosses pumping hundreds of billions of dollars into AI, which is only inflating the cost even higher. They're actually, you know, kicking themselves in the balls doing that, Microsoft, and they're probably thinking, you know, now's not the time. Like, we're in no rush. Why don't we just take an extra 18 to 24 months, build the brand back up with what we've got, because the Series X, and to a lesser extent Series S, is a fantastic machine there. They've even got like the Play Anywhere stuff and the PC, and they can make the improvements on the Xbox game launcher itself. The ROG Ally products, the fact that they're trying to get in this Xbox is everything's an Xbox, even though it's died. That's still kind of key to what Xbox is all about. And if they were smart, they would just hold their water. But as you very rightfully said, Scott, Xbox fucking loves a weird, stupid decision, which is how I think we are going to get the bad version of this future, which is they just show their hand, and it could just be the Project Helix, or it's the classic, like the Project Scorpio, bunch of devs against a white backdrop talking about how this is the most powerful teraflop thing ever, and wow, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it gets the Digital Foundry ones out there, harder than a crossword in the Herald, as they say. But it's just, bar that, we're all just sitting there thinking, none of us can get excited about new hardware just now, because now more than ever you're thinking, can I afford that? And probably the answer is no. And you shouldn't afford that because there's way too much money. And I say that as like, we have seats on the board of the Mug Punter parade here. But yeah, I think they're going to do it. Long story short, I think they're going to do it.
I just honestly, I have visions of myself as fucking Matthew McConaughey and what is it? Fucking what's he called? Interstellar. Just banging the window like fucking just stop. You don't have to do it. Like make games for the fucking console that you already have because you've not done it. Like, come on, I wish people would just see sense. I wish they would just fucking look at everything that's happened so far and be like, we've barely even scratched the surface of what we could do with these fucking things. Yeah. It drives me insane. We're so keen to move forward all the time, and we barely get to enjoy the things that we've already had. Listen, Xbox have been pish this generation. Clip this, send it out on fucking YouTube and TikTok. Xbox has been fucking useless. The only time that they've done anything good was last year or 2 years ago when they had a decent slate of games come out. They released them all at the wrong time because they were all too close together. And look at us now. We're still waiting for all this pish. Forza Horizon, great, but you're not capturing hearts and minds of every single person in the Xbox fan base. We might all play it because it's on Game Pass, but that's the only reason why we're playing it. I'm not fucking buying an Xbox to play Forza. Like, make games for the console that you already have, because Xbox game studios may as well not fucking exist because there's been pish all coming out of it.
No.
It's the same as Sony. Sony are the same. Like, the same fucking issues as well. It makes me so angry that we spend all this money and all this time and effort investing in these fucking consoles. And honestly, you're lucky if I switch my Xbox on now. You're lucky, just because there's no need for it to be on. Like, and I've told you the story. I've told everyone the story before. I bought an Xbox Series S shortly after it came out, and I played it once, and I never played it again because there was nothing on there either. Like, the last, I'm not breaking news for anyone here. The last decent Xbox console was the Xbox 360 because they actually fucking took time to develop games for it. Like, we're so keen to move everything forward. Project Scorpio, like, what the fuck happened with that? Shite, nothing. Xbox Series X and S, what the fuck's happened with that? Bugger all. They've scrapped this whole everything's an Xbox. What are Xbox ROG Ally folk thinking now? You know what I mean? Was this worth it? It is, because the price of fucking internet handhelds is PC handheld games and fucking consoles are skyrocketing. So it's a decent investment at that point, but this is all just circumstantial. Evidently and fucking ultimately, these things live and die by the games that you play on them. And that's all we want to see. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just want to see something that's going to make me go, wow, I need to buy an Xbox now. And there's not been enough time for that. There's not been enough time for Asher Sharma and Matt Booty and everyone else to, pull one of these games out their arse. It's not the clown at the fucking at the birthday party pulling fucking tissues out his ass, because there's just not been enough time to make these games yet. Because if they were being made, we'd have known about them already. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't see. That's the only reason why I'm concerned about Xbox, because all the games we know about them already are just known quantities. If they come out and show me something really interesting and cool, great. People are now souring on Hideo Kojima because he's shagging AI with Nicholas Winding Refn. I mean, yeah,
Boo.
boo him, boo this man,
Yeah, boo
because he
this
needs
man.
to know. He needs to
Give him
know
the
that
baddie.
it's not right. Aye, so
I mean,
listen, it's
that's part of the problem. I suppose I blame a lot of it to do with the leak weasels out there. Because I suppose to come back to earlier on in the show, like the same thing was the state of play. You
yeah.
know, like it feels like it's all known quantities. We talk about like these Corey Barlog next project thing. We shouldn't know anything about that,
Mm-hmm.
but we're nerds, and Reddit exists, and we can see things, and we choose to believe them. But I think Xbox though, they need to give reason to just be excited about owning an Xbox, or at least wanting to own an Xbox, because even third party or not, I think there's definitely that play they're starting to move back to the exclusive model. So this kind of Xbox is everywhere stuff like Forza Horizon 6, you're not going to see Forza Horizon 7 anywhere else but on Xbox. So they're going to dial that back, but that's like 6-7 years
Aye,
down the line. But it's
he done
like,
it. He done it.
I know, that's 6-7. But I think on that note, we'll come back to the games briefly. Obviously, we're going to get the new Call of Duty, which I think is Modern Warfare 4. But
Just don't end on it.
it's an interesting year for them because it's now no longer part of the Game Pass equation. But my prediction is they're going to announce a Game Pass extension for Call of Duty, like a COD Pass. I think they're going to do something like that, but it's going to be astronomical.
Almost like
Astronomical.
someone made this up. I think it's necessary for people who have bought Xboxes in the past for Call of Duty on Game Pass. You can't take that away suddenly because you decided that it's too expensive. You made this bed, so obviously in it.
I think so. I mean, listen, what was it they reduced it by? £3 or something? £4? I can't remember. No, it was a bit long more than that. It was like a £5 or something, but that's still a big chunk of change, but it won't equate to that. It'll be a nice round number. I still think like that $10.99, $15.99 wouldn't surprise me that if they try and experiment with something to try and get their value proposition, because if they get 12 months out of somebody for that, it's still more than what somebody would pay to actually buy the game. So you're effectively getting, COD on Klarna COD. That's basically what it's going to be. So that's the first prediction.
You need to trademark that term.
If it's announced, expect the post. Klarna COD is here. I own it. Yeah, I think outside of that, the big ones, you mentioned it earlier, like Persona 6, I do think Xbox have it. I think you will get the release date for Clockwork Revolution, which will make me very happy because that game looked class. NetherRealm new game, you mentioned that. I think we actually get it at Xbox. And my last one, which I don't think will happen, but I thought, let's have a bit of fun. There'll be some type of Fallout remake just chucked there. They're almost like this is out now type thing. I don't know, but there's been no leak weasels out there with that kind of stuff because that stuff would have leaked donkeys ago. But we know Todd Howard likes to shadow drop games. He's said that in interviews recently. On the note of Todd Howard, if you're expecting like Elder Scrolls 6 or something, just think again. I would honestly, like, you would need to pick me up off the ground if that happened. I think that is as far away as you could possibly imagine. To the point where I don't think you see Fallout Elder Scrolls 6 for at least another like close to 5+ years. Honestly, like it's so far.
That in itself is outrageous.
They announced it too early.
40 years old, Liam, and we'd be seeing Fallout. We'd be seeing the Elder Scrolls 6,
and I will play it.
It would still look fucking pish as well.
I'll be weeping on that day though. I'll have my fun. You can be happy for me.
We will still be having this conversation about, the Fallout engine. Being like, the conversations all look weird and it looks terrible. Did they need to change it?
Because why am I going to be having nightmares about their strange Play-Doh faces?
So annoying, man.
Do you have any other ones you want to add to Xbox before we move on to the last?
Yeah, so I think they would probably see a bit more about OD.
Oh yeah, of course.
I think that it's probably now time for Hideo to fucking show his ass on this and, shows the reason why we need to be excited about him and Jordan Peele, coming together to make something. I think that, they've also announced Blade in the past. Marvel's Blade. I think that we're hitting the zenith of, the Marvel zeitgeist again. And we're going to have Marvel talk on Fighting Souls, Iron Man, and Marvel's Blade shown
life
within the same period of time, and it'll look cool as fuck. Like, we'll all be pure raging about how good this shit looks. I'll probably see a bit more about State of Decay, to be honest with you. Games that we don't care about. Another fucking shite trailer that they'll show for that. Probably another trailer for something like Metro as well, to be honest with you, because I know that they were doing something there.
They love a Metro review,
yeah, they do. That's the reason why I wrote it. Is the first thing that came into my head is that they'll probably show some bollocks to do with that. But I do think, Liam, that this move back to the Xbox branding, Xbox in capital letters, will signal the return of something beautiful, Liam. Something that I don't care about, but something that a lot of people do care about. And I do think that now is the time, more than anything else, for the return of a mascot for Xbox, Liam. I think if you're a fan of Grant Kirkhope's music,
which we are,
you might be excited to see Banjo-Kazooie return on Xbox. I think it'll be far too early to show it off, though. It will be,
I like that,
a remake of some sort or something like that. It'll be an ugly looking remake. It'll be like Ugly Sonic when they first showed off the Sonic movie, and they'll have to change it. But it'll be a remake nonetheless.
It'll be like Shrek 5. You know what I mean?
Shrek 5, Zendaya is actually Banjo. But it's going to be something like that. But it's not the game that I want, Liam. As I say, if we're bringing back old Xbox, I want one game and one game only.
Shoot.
Blinks the Time Sweeper. Bring it back.
Never know.
The fans demand it. Blinks the Time Sweeper 2 or 3.
I think that's actually a really good, really good shout, actually, with the Banjo thing, because it feels like, let's go back, let's hop on the DeLorean, right? Let's go back in time. And if you remember the E3, the Xbox showcase, one of the first ones of like Phil Spencer era, when they were on the back foot, and it was after the whole Don Matrick era, and Xbox One was an absolute shit show. And we're introduced to the whole like notion of Game Pass, but not so much Game Pass, but it was the Xbox backwards compatibility announcement, and they just needed something like that, and all of a sudden that was it. Like that's that little bit of wind in the sails. It's not one announcement fixes everything. It's a momentum game, and you just have to get it moving in the right direction. I feel like Asha Sharma needs something like that Banjo like type of announcement, just to be like, oh, that's fun. You know, this is cool. Like I'm quite happy. I have positive sentiment towards this console manufacturer for the day, and that's all they really need to look at. You know, it's about taking it one bite at a time, and hopefully not fucking it up along the way, as we've seen so many times before. But it's that is a tremendous shout for that, because that's the type of announcement that she needs. She just needs everything that she's going to do right now is hearts and minds. She's got to be like Homer Simpson running for the head of sanitation. You know what I mean? Can't someone else do it? She needs that type of announcement that's kind of like, I'll figure it out later. It's fine. Everybody's buzzing about it. So that's the kind of thing that she needs. But very, very good shout. I like that. And hopefully we get to hear more of Grant's wonderful music, friend of the show. But yeah, I think we're going to finish here on Nintendo, and I've put just a little adage here, because they've not announced anything yet, but they know they're going to do it like probably 14 minutes before it goes live. And they're probably going to show something like the first trailer for the Legend of Zelda movie. The big one here that we're all expecting is the Ocarina of Time remake announcement.
Yep.
I've said here coming this September, because fuck it, why not? Or being pure Nintendo, they'll drop it in November 19th.
I think it'll be probably will be
You know what I mean? Just to be like, oh great, Grand Theft Auto 6 costs £200, and there's an Ocarina of Time remake there as well. I still stand by that earlier one that they said in shows past. It's going to be £70. Don't worry about it. It's not going to be any more expensive than that standard edition. But yeah, back to Nintendo. For me, I've just got three things, mate, bar the Zelda stuff, because they need that Zelda project for the year. If Ocarina of Time remake is true, it's here. I've put Luigi's Mansion 4 and Metroid Prime 4 get some DLC. That's all I've got.
Throw it in the fucking bin. Metroid Prime, fuck. I would shit my pants for another Luigi's Mansion, even though I've not played the 2 or 3. Luigi's Mansion 1 left such a mark on my soul, but
You'd love 3, man.
I know. I would
love 3.
I would love it. I'll maybe play it at some point. They do have to show me something for the next Fire Emblem game.
Yes.
That will have to be shown off before the end of the year. I think that if you're going to do the Legend of Zelda, you do it earlier, and then that comes later. That comes later.
Yes.
But I just want a big show of like it's kind of similar statures to when we got like all the Marvel collections and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, show us a bit more about that. Show us where Witchbrook's coming. When we're going to see the Haunted Chocolatier. Are we going to see that this year? You know, what's happening with all these daft wee indie games that the Nintendo usually sort of give us? We need a show like that. And then at the end of it, they just blast us in the arse with Ocarina of Time. We just hear the trills of the Ocarina, and then that's it. It's over. And then, you know, Nintendo have won, and we just go back and live in our holes.
They swagger off, and rightfully so.
But what if it's bad? Imagine it's shite. Like,
they just wouldn't do that. That's the thing. Like they don't get that gold stamp without it. Particularly this. This is the fact that we're at this point and we're even entertaining the mere like potential of an Ocarina of Time remake still blows my mind, because it still feels sacred, despite the fact that it's in an era that's probably aged the worst, I would argue, from video game perspective. But it's I don't know, it still blows my mind.
Recently played it, it fucking desperately needs it.
Yeah,
The game
100%.
Ugly as all hell.
Aye, so all the games for that era look like dog shit. I mean, even like try and get your wee one to play like Super Mario 64. Honestly, without forcing them to do it, because it will score them points in 10 years' time. It looks like dog shit now, Mario 64, and it's like, I just want to play Mario Odyssey. I just want to play Mario Galaxy. And it's like, right, okay, I've tried. And it also, it's just the controls in that, they just can't appreciate it, because it is very much one of those, you had to be there, son, type thing. But aye, but alas, I'd be keen to know what everybody else who's listening, watching, what are you looking forward to? What do you realistically expect? And what's your madcap predictions for Summer Game Fest? But who do you think actually needs a big win out of all this? You know, we've went through everybody here, but I'd be keen to get your thoughts. Are you more aligned with Scott in terms of this is all on Xbox's shoulders, or more with myself and that Geoff Keighley must be stopped? Just let us know in the comments below. But I think we'll put a pin in it there, Scott. But I want to give people their final reminder that this month we did launch the Pixel Picks Replay, which is our video game book club, where we're inviting you all to join us as we replay the top 100 video games from the Pixel Picks list. Each month we're just going to bring you one game. We've selected it at random from the list, and then we're going to reconvene at the end of the month for a retrospective chat, which will be next week. And we're just going to be rediscovering, finding out for the first time what made these games very special as a wee community. So for May 2026, you've got another week left. Your Pixel Picks replay is Bayonetta. And we invite you all just to play this month. Join us next week, where we're going to discuss in more detail. We want your thoughts, so head over to patreon.com/pixelparents. Email us or comment on YouTube and Spotify. Scott, already, it's been a meaty one. It's been a very spicy episode this week. I enjoyed that.
I got angry.
It goes with the overall heat in the air. But with all that spice, though, it does bring us an end to this week's podcast. So, I thank you once again for joining us. And remember to support small independent games media out there. So if you do like what you hear and you enjoy the podcast, just please give us a wee share on social media. Tell your pals about us. Leave a 5-star review. Follow us on Spotify. Whatever it is, tell your dog. It helps us out. It makes a big, massive difference. If you want to, you can also support us for free on Patreon at patreon.com/pixelparents. And also, new in this week, go to Reddit, r/pixelparents as well, for more nonsense and hijinks from the both of us. Scott, test time. Where can people find you online if they want to continue to talk about your thoughts and how wonderful you think Xbox
are? Don't even fucking talk to me about it. I am available on Blue Sky at lamaman.bsky.social. Come and fucking say hello. Don't say anything else.
Indeed. But please talk to me about Xbox, folks. Do it for me. You can find me on Blue Sky at carmelite.bsky.social. Maybe the next time, who knows, you'll see the Klarna Call of Duty out there somewhere. Just keep your eyes peeled for that, because it's definitely happening. Want to give a massive shout out to our producer and music man, the talented and handsome Mr. Sean Murray. So please go show him some love. Check out his work on Instagram at barehandsdesigns and barehandsdesigns.com. You can listen to the next episode on all major podcast platforms. Follow us on Blue Sky at pixelparents.bsky.social. Of course, write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. But wherever you are, like, share, subscribe, and please play some damn games. Until next time, stay safe, stay sane, and thanks for listening.
Mr. Burns was right, Liam. Block out the sun.
Scott loves Xbox.
Fucking shit.